know, the kids couldn't go out unless you took them all the way down the stairs. You couldn't let them play on the landing or anything. And I thought, these people who designed these places were supposedly educated, and yet the people with kids under 5 in 7 stories up in a box flats. And anyway, all that sort of thing fantasy back in my mind, and sat down and thought, what must be like to live in one of those places under those conditions. And I love here just to be able to step out and be back and appreciate like being able to actually step out and be in the road and sit down and go, live now. Anyway, I'm happy on this one. So this one is called Volume. Take me away from valley and valley, back down to earth from the streets in the sky, and build me a home with my own little garden. And why don't the planners live here? Tell me why in their ivory towers, with a head full of green, are they learning no lesson from disaster? They were lost, all those warm, friendly places, not fit for human to live in, they say. So they sent us to limbo in a sea of strange faces. But it's not home to me though, and I don't want to stay in the ivory tower with a head full of green, while learning no lesson from disaster's fear. I can't pay the fare for to go see me granny. When the big rent's been paid, there's not much left for me. How I miss all my friends and familiar old faces. But I'm just a statistic from New Beverly in the ivory tower, with a head full of green, hardly learning no lesson from disaster's street. I dream for the planet would be far from heaven. I condemn them to live here with their children and wives. While I go to their service, it's lugubrious splendor. They can live in the bed that they make of our lives in their ivory tower, with a head full of green. Are they learning no lesson from disaster's street? So go to your board now and draw me a coffin. It'd be more like home than myself in the And how dare you play God with the light? Suffering holds you till the day that you die in your ivory tower, with your head full of dreams. Are you learning no lesson from disastrous schemes? Are you learning no lesson from disastrous schemes? You were dead poor, so you couldn't get a chair. You never finished paying because as soon as you finished, you'd have to get another one. Anyway, we called him the Tallyman. This song called the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. At your bed after that was walk a week, and then riches began to leak. Out to them we told it, man and neighbours wreck. Now there's a wholesome in me top, and another in me top. It says we'll have to pop the top, or get another chair. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. The electric gets the dog around, the bills go up and never down. We rich, we went to town, and dropped and being cold. And then we daddy got the sack, the stealing back from Dusty back, while the floor returned the slack, and the wages then fall. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. We can't afford to look for men, his father's fast asleep in bed, and me mother's out he said, the lock behind the door. Can you just leave before today and let me in the street to play? Promise not to go away, next week you'll pay your board. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. We should bring it in, we're running around the street. Beautiful ladies, they never ever had a treat. Just make it do and then people paying through the nose. Twice the price for shorty clothes. So the debt is broken, so the circle never ends. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. You pay forevermore. You pay forevermore. The sack is stealing back the naughty back, while the floor returns the slack, the wages then fall. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. We can't afford to look for men, his father's fast asleep in bed, and me mother's out he said, the lock's behind the door. Can you just leave before today and let me in the street to play? Promise not to go away, next week you'll pay your board. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, he's knocking at the door. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman. Here comes the Tallyman, you pay forevermore. We should bring it in, we're running around the street. Beautiful ladies, they never ever had a treat. Just make it do and then people paying through the nose. Twice the price for shorty clothes. So the debt it grows and grows, the circle never ends. Here comes the Tallyman, the Tallyman, the Tallyman.
My limbs are rods of steel. My belly stuffed with money. My soul was bought in a deal. They poured iron through my arteries. They choked my lungs with lead. They churned my blood to plastic. They put murder into my head. I had a face like a map of the weather, flesh that grew to the bone, but they tore my story out of my eyes and turned my heart to stone. Let me wine from my source like a river. Let me grow like wheat from the grain. Let me hold out my arms like a natural tree. Let my children love me again. This is I've been reading actually for about a fortnight now, really sort of got, but I can't love him, even though I screw my eyes up real hard and try like mad, but if you want him, it'd be somebody else. I mean, you've got to have enemies, haven't you? I'm thinking about going there. And then it's a football team lost by 13 goals to 7, but that's not bad because St. Xavier's don't have big lads in their team, and last time we played, they beat us 18-1, and this time we got 7 goals, didn't we? And then we have our lessons. We have science and English and maths, except on Wednesday morning, when our class goes to the bats and it's not our cold. And Pete Bradbury's fingers were all wrinkled and blue last week. I said, "You're going to die, man." But he pushed me under water and I told me breath for 15 minutes, but he's still alive, though. Yes? Friday is my favourite day, though. We have art all afternoon, and I never care what happens, because I know it's home time soon and I'm free for 2 whole days. But I think sometimes it wouldn't be half so good having this weekend if we didn't have 5 days of school in between, would it? Well, this is about a poem about a girl who's doing typewriting class. I've got my glasses on, I can't see it. And, you know, there are 2 phrases that you get to type if you learn typing. One is the quick brown fox jots over the lazy dog, because it uses all the letters on the keyboard. And the other one is, now's the time for all good men to come to the aid of the party. Well, she doesn't like typewriting and shorthand, or shorthand and typewriting. So she writes a letter of resignation to her teacher, and this is what she writes. Typewriting class. Dear Miss Hinson, I am spitting in front of my top ratter with the rest of my commercial sturdy students typing you this later. The truth is, Miss Hinson, I'm not hippie with my cross. Every day on Wounds Day, I sit in my dusk with my typewriter, trooping without lurking at the lattice, all sorts of weird messages. To give one example, the quick down socks, the quick brine pox, the sick frown box, the sick down jocks hunts over the hazy bog. When everyone knows that a sick down jock would not be seen dead near a hazy bog. Another one we tripe is, now is the time for all guide men to cram to the head of the pratty. To my way of thinking, if that is all you get to tripe in true Welks of sturdy, then I'm thinking of changing to crookery classes. I would sooner end up a crook than a shirt-hand Trappist, any day of the week. I have taken the tremble, Miss Hinson, to tripe you this later, so that you will be able to underhand my indignation. I'm as clothed now as the bill is groaning. Yours fitfully. This is a love poem from age 7, called The Pain. Coming home from school when I was 7, I told my mother of the pain. Where is the pain? She asked. Here, I said, holding before me 2 imaginary pillows in the air. Where were you when it started? At Farmer Road Juniors, but then I took it on the bus with me. At what time did the pain start? Between the end of dinner time and the ringing of the bell for afternoon. Was it something you ate? How did you notice it? It walked through the door of Miss Mellor's class. Before there was just me. Afterwards there were two of us, the pain and me. Was anything said? Did anybody notice? Something was said about the register. When the room was empty, the pain had made its home there. Can't you tell me more? My mother said. She was getting bored with this conversation. What would you call the pain? The pain is called Nancy Muriel Oliver and is pale with yellow hair. Is there nothing you can do? Nothing you can say? No, said my mother, closing the medicine cabinet. Just go back to school tomorrow and pray it never goes away. This is a little poem about a fat boy who's victorious for once in his life. It's a kind of ballad, really. It's called Arthur the Fat Boy. I always think it's unfortunate, you know. I read this poem in schools about a fight where the fat... I had a fight at school with a boy just because I didn't like the back of his knees, you know what it is? And you're dying for the teacher to come and stop it, aren't you? And all the boys in school don't have the conformist culture. They all want to be different, but they want to be different so they're the same as everybody else being different. So when there's one poor fat boy, they always say, you know, all the way through, really. So this is for all the sort of people with glasses who are called Four Eyes, you know, fatties who are called Pulpy, and slack children, and green monsters, and whatever, and bald children. They said about Arthur, you're too fat. They said, you can never win. You'll only make a fool of yourself. They said, Arthur, think again. But Arthur was sick of the insults. He was tired of all the names. He was fed up with never being asked to play when they picked the teams for games. So secretly, he went running in the evenings after tea, past the allotments, down to the old canal, where he thought that no one could see. And there each night, Arthur ran alone, till his fat pink legs were numb, and the sweat on his face was a river, and his lungs beat like a drum. He ran past locks and bridges, where abandoned factories reared, where the wind on the water called his name, and only the silence jeered. And then finally, Sports Day came around, and Arthur jogged to his place, and the mocking shouts of the jeering crowd made the tears course down his face. But the jeers and the laughter died away when the starter fired his gun, and a voice rang clear across the field. Just look at that fat boy run! 2 laps from home, and Arthur lies forth. There's a map of pain on his face, and only his rage keeps him running as he moves up into 3rd place. He inches up on the 2nd boy. The leader's just 10 yards ahead, and the voice of the crowd is a roar in his head, and the faces a sea of red. And Arthur, the fat boy, sees the tape, and his pride has become a mine, and he scratches with his will for strength there as his legs swim for the line. And Arthur, the fat boy, makes 1st place, but the sky is upside down, and the finish appears to be moving away as he falls to his knees on the ground. He can hear the 2nd boy closing fast, but his legs have turned to lead, and his brain can't hear his willpower scream through the blizzard in his head. And though for the first time in his life he hears the crowd call his name, Arthur lies stranded, high and alone, beached on a rack of pain. And then a mocking voice rings high and clear. It's a voice he's heard all his life, and the jeering, leering mockery twists in his heart like a knife. And it's anger that sets him moving, anger that lifts him again. It's anger that pushes his aching legs crawling across the line. And Arthur, the fat boy, dreams he's in bed, and he clings to his dream in fear. So many cold mornings he's woken to see his happiness disappear. And Arthur reluctantly wakens himself, and the world turns like a wheel, and Arthur, for the first time in his life, awakes to a dream that's real.
Before we carry on, just a few quick announcements. For those of you who haven't already discovered, the ladies' toilet's somewhat out of action, especially on the doors. Before the Kirkby Writers, the true stars of tonight's show come on. The bar now is now...
Yes, Michael. Michael, ladies and gentlemen, here I am coming here tonight, Michael, to host the night's proceedings. Well, you're not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Pat, you get me a chair. Yes, come on, Mike. Come on. Yes, come on. Just sit down. Yes, tonight, Mike McLaughlin. You thought you were coming out tonight's proceedings, but you're not. Because I'm here to say, Mike McLaughlin, Mucky Mick, filmmaker, writer, silver medalist in the 1982 Sex Olympics. He came second to Cecil Parkinson. This is your life. Well, Mike McLaughlin, this is your life. And you were born Anne-Marie McLaughlin in a small hovel house in the tough area of Lodge Lane, which prompted you to have the sex change that you all didn't know about. And you got fed up with this because when you climbed his knees in the park, all the lads would look at you scared. But your mum and dad worked very hard for you, very hard indeed. And they put you through college, which made you the lad you are today. You're right clever, Dick. Play wait there, Nick. Hey, Mike. And the lovely girl you married, Terry. Well, we asked her to come along tonight, but she said, well, she couldn't really give a toss. So she stayed at home designing your frog and stuff. But we've got instead the girl that you left behind in the Peacock pub. Can you sit down, please, ladies? Can you just sit there? I don't know about Cecil Parkinson. You should have the bleeding gun now. Have you got two next there somewhere? Well, Michael, you met these good ladies. Yeah, good, aren't they? Yeah, the guys. Oh, I've seen them. You met these two good ladies in the Peacock pub, you remember? And can you remember who introduced you to these two good ladies that night? Can you come in? Gladys ever ready? Look, Gladys, what can you tell us about young Michael here?
Oh, he was always a bright lad. He used to have this suit, and he used to light up in the dark. He used to stand at the end of the bar with his glass of shandy, with his umbrella in it. I know he used to lick his eyebrows with his tongue. He used to drive over girls mad.
Well, didn't he used to play some tricks on you, Gladys?
Oh, God, yeah. He come in one night, and he told me he'd come up on the pool. So, of course, I thought, oh, he's one face divvy. Then he showed me the coupon that he'd been sick on.
Oh my God, thank you very much, Gladys. Thank you. Please go off that way. Thank you. Well, if your friends ever wonder Michael, where you got all the money from to go and buy all these pints for everybody? I wouldn't mind having the script. We can tell everybody now where you got the money from, Michael, to go and spend in the Baycock pub. Will you come in now, please, Mr. Robin? Gently, Jimmy the Blade.
Will you get the name right? It's not that one, it's Reuben Gently. You can call me anytime. Yes, I left him a few pounds. I got to buy a few bit of stuff, and I'm still waiting to be repaid. You know, I don't like to be kept waiting, son. So, I'll see you tomorrow, 2:30, in my office. And don't forget the cash. Just come to Parkway, ring the bell, and ask for me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Blade. Nice friend you got there, Michael. Oh, family, Michael. A little guest you thought was tucked up in bed tonight. Right. But we managed to get him out at the Peacock Pub. Your little boy, Kenneth.
Oh, shit!
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Mike McLaughlin, this is your life.
All right, I'll be cracking out. You thought you'd have the sex change to get away from us. So come nice and quiet with us now. Back to Park Lane Hospital.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I just say this? That's our tribute to Mike. He's really fought so hard to keep Kirkby Writers together. And without Mike, there would be no Kirkby Writers. Could you give him a hand? Yeah. Could you also pay tribute to the people who came up and acted the sketch? I finished it just at the weekend, and we were given just an hour last Tuesday to get together as a group and rehearse it. So I think if you pay your tribute to them, and Graham. Thanks very much. I'll give you back to Mike.
Big thanks, my colleagues and friends. Totally unexpected, totally by surprise. Right, well, the first member of Kirkby Writers tonight. It gives me special pleasure being here because last year he couldn't make it, and he's changed his mind. It was supposed to be Kenny.